Hey, welcome. Join me for this
Hey,
book interview with Mel Kelly.
hey,
Mel, wonderful to have you in the interview with us. I want
great,
to say a few words to introduce you and then jump in straight.
great. Thanks, Ranjit.
So Mel is a TEDx speaker and a comedian, a European award-winning speaker with Toastmasters. And if you think that he only does speaking, no, he's also a best-selling author with Amazon, with his first book, which was called Born in Ireland, Made in Germany. Now, he's had a lot of time to think about it the last year or two, and he's written a new book. The new book is called Top Tips for Dating Disaster in Germany. So, Mel, let me ask you first, because this is a comedy book. Tell us, when was the first time you did comedy on stage?
First time I did comedy was about 7 years ago. In Prague, and then I went to there was no clubs in Munich, so I went to Prague, did a workshop there, and then came back to Munich. We started a club with two other guys, and we did a comedy for the very first time in a club here in Munich, and we had so much fun. Decided to do again and again, and we've been running the club since then.
Nice. So that was the first time you did comedy.
Yeah.
But when did you decide to move from comedy to writing a book?
Oh, well, the comedy to writing a book was I was realizing I was forgetting all my jokes that I was doing on stage. And so I realized I'm not getting any younger. None of us are getting any younger. So I realized, how do I remember all of these jokes? I could get a Netflix special. I could get a professional thing. I could have a recording of my 2-hour special. But then I realized it wasn't going to happen. So I realized the only way to record all of this stuff was write a book. The best way to help me not forget about all of these stories.
Okay. So do you want to tell us a bit about your first book before we jump into your second book? Your first book has a very interesting title.
Yeah, the first book, Born in Ireland, Made in Germany, that was all about coming from Ireland, moving to Germany and living here as an expat, and a lot of the cultural differences that I experienced here, and the cultural frustrations that I experienced here. So that was all about that, and that the journey went from being very, very frustrated to actually falling in love with the culture and falling in love with Germany. That was the first book.
Wait a minute, you fell in love with Germany, I know that. I heard that you even became a German.
Oh yes, I became a German 3 years ago. I got the German passport. I actually was able to vote in the last election. I'm so excited. I'm looking forward to the next elections in September. I'll be able to vote again.
Oh my God. Now, okay. Now that you're a German and you're able to vote, now let's say, how many years have you been in Germany now?
I'm here now since 2003. So that's, how many years is that? That's 18 years now.
18 years,
Yes.
2003. So I assume you would have been a young man when you came here.
Thank you, Ranjit, for pointing that one out. I was a very, very young man back then, and then I'm an even younger man now.
Okay, so let me take you back 18 years. So if I take you back 18 years, were you single when you came to Germany?
I was single when I first came to Germany, yes.
Aha. Now what is interesting for me is, can you share with us maybe your first date that you went out with in Germany?
Absolutely. Because I covered this in the book, and it's really interesting, because the very first date I went out, I thought it was a date, and I was so excited, and we arranged to meet, and we're meeting in an Irish pub, and it was fantastic. And there I was, about to go down there, and then I was going, where is she? Where is she? And I couldn't find her anywhere. And then I realized she was sitting there with a group of guys and a group of girls. And then I realized that what I thought was a date was what she just thought was a friendly meeting with a group of friends.
Wow. No, so wait a minute. So now that you told us about your first date, your book is called Top Tips for Dating Disaster in Germany.
That's correct, yes.
So the first date itself was a disaster.
Absolutely, yes. And there's many more, many more disasters to follow.
So now, see, this is a question who is this book for? Is this book for men, or is this book for women, or is it useful for both?
I would say it's useful for both. It's useful for both because it's useful for men who are dating, men who want to date, who are dating or trying to date, or maybe men who are in a relationship at the moment who might be dating again in the future. But it's also very useful for women as well to understand perhaps what men are going through when they're going through the dating process. When men are out there looking for love, when men are trying to, on that adventure of what men are going through. And again, it's a laugh. It's a humorous story, funny stories, and hopefully both men and women will find it humorous.
Okay. Now that we've established that it's going to be useful for both, now I would be interested in this. You came from Ireland. You live in Germany.
Yeah.
How do you think Irish women are different from German women?
Oh, Irish women different from German women. My goodness. Yes, a lot of people ask that question, and I thought when I first came that Irish women would be quite different to German women. But that's what I first thought when I arrived. And what I realized is, well, women are amazing. Women are brilliant. This is my politically correct answer. But women are amazing, and women are amazing in Ireland, and women are amazing in Germany. And there's so much commonality of where they're amazing. And there's probably a small little percent where they're a little bit different. And a little bit different probably is put down to cultural differences, but they're mostly amazing. Or should I say, my better, less politically correct answer is women in Ireland were difficult and the women in Germany are difficult, or should I say at least they were difficult for me in both places.
Interesting. So if the word, it says disaster in the book. Yeah. Now, when I finish reading the book, am I going to be left with disasters, or is there hope for people who are reading this book?
What you will learn from those disasters is what to avoid. So the book, some people say, oh, are you putting yourself up as an expert of dating? And I say, absolutely not. I'm putting myself up there as an expert on what not to do. So there are so many things you can do wrong. I've done most of them, and they're all in that book. So it's a great top tips on what to avoid. And also give you hope. If you're committing these disasters yourself, you realize you're not the only person that's doing it. So make you feel better. There's other people out there having a hard time too.
I think I like this a lot, especially that I live in Munich. Munich is a city filled with one of the highest number of singles in the whole of Germany. Yes. So is there a reason why you are in Munich, and is there a reason that you're bringing this book out in Munich?
Yes, to reach all the singles that are here in Munich, to reach all the people who in the future might be single. So it's, yes, well, I live here in Munich. Most of these stories are based in Munich, but they're actually international stories that probably could have happened anywhere, I would say. But as it turned out, most of these stories actually happened here.
So I've heard a lot of these authors do master classes. Are you considering starting a master classes to help people avoid disasters or discuss their disasters?
A master class in dating disasters. It's a new idea. It's a novel idea. I hadn't thought about it. Leave that one with me. I'll get back to you whether I'll start a master class on how to do dating disasters.
Okay, this is a serious question. Now,
okay.
Why do you call this a comedy book and not a self-help book? Because people are going to read this and think, how do I avoid disaster? Is it not a self-help book?
Well, self-help, humor, is it therapy? Is it not? Some people want a very serious self-help books. I don't really put it in that genre of self-help. I put it in the genre of humor and entertainment. If you can learn something from it, that's a bonus. But primarily it's there to entertain. But you can learn something too as well. You just learn, please don't make those mistakes.
Okay. We talk about Ireland, Germany. Now,
yes.
Out of all these dating disasters, where did you find love?
Where did I find love? I found love about halfway through the book. You'll have to read the book. And so I was going through a dating disaster and dating disaster and dating. And then I met this girl and it wasn't going well. It wasn't going well. And then for some reason, it started to go well. And that was the turning point, and that's when it all just started to work out a bit better. Or should I say, well, it's not that it all started to work out. I just went from dating disasters to relationship disasters. So that was the sort of the turning point. So going through all the fun and games of relationships. So that was.
So that's a good point. So you found the love of your life. What about all those readers out there? Let's assume you have a few of them who are married, the ones who have got kids. What is it in this book for them? Why should they pick up this book?
Well, married people might want to get either there's some relationship advice in there, perhaps that they are relationship disasters more is the point, that maybe mistakes that they're making as well. There's also as well, you can give it to your partner to sort of point out what your partner is making those mistakes as well. Or perhaps you're planning to be single soon and you're just planning to top up on your dating skills before you actually get back out into the single market or not. Or you could realize that you can appreciate your partner even more when you realize how cold and cruel it is out there in the single dating market.
Wonderful. And Mel, so last time I bought your book when it came out, I bought it on Amazon. Now
Yes.
tell us, where can we get this new book? Is it going to be Amazon? Is it going to be any Hugendubel, or which platforms are available on?
It's going to be Amazon again. We're going to link is in the below here. We're going to see it after the video. You'll be able to see the link for this. And yes, it's available on Amazon for a very reasonable price. Very reasonable price. It's looking at it's going to be $8.95 and a very cheap price. So it's a present for yourself, present for your partner, or a present for a future partner, or a present for your mother or your father, as you wish. This is a gift for yourself or a gift for other people. But it's something that, it's a humorous story, perhaps bring a smile to your face and maybe even a chuckle or a laugh.
Dating Disasters. I'm looking forward to read this book when it comes out. Now, before we let you go, can you share top 3 of your tips to your future readers who want to avoid dating disasters?
I'll tell you the top 1. The top 1 is, if you're going to learn to dance, which I do recommend, but don't learn ballet dancing. That's my top number 1, because that leotard, my goodness, I tried to put on that leotard. I don't look good in a leotard. I don't look good to myself. And I don't look good to anybody in the class around me. Avoid the ballet dancing.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Mel. Go get your dancing shoes on and avoid those dancing disasters. But if you want to really avoid them, buy Mel's book and you can avoid all the dating disasters when you want to find love in Germany.